Hey, it's Kara. We are going to do a song together today that we have all probably played a million times before. The big difference is I have created two particular measures of music that are really going to challenge our hammer-on and our pull-off techniques. Now, what that's going to look like real slow is... You know what song it is? It's Whiskey Before Breakfast. We've done it a million times. All right, I just so happen to be playing on my beautiful McSpadden dulcimer today, sitting on top of my beautiful Wolf Hill woodworking. Wolf Hill woodworking. Yes, by the Jordans. Ron and Don Jordan made this beautiful stand, and Dwayne Porterfield doesn't say it any better than I do. Wolf Hill woodworking. All right, it's a wonderful thing. Go to karabarnard.com and send me a note from there. Contact me, send me a note and say, hey, Kara, please send me all of the stuff you've written out for Whiskey Before Breakfast, because it's unlike anything I've ever done before. And I will go, oh, okay, it's on its way. All right. Some of these words I wrote myself. Lord preserve us and protect us. We've been drinking whiskey for breakfast. I heard that somewhere a long time ago in Winfield, Kansas. I don't remember where. If you know who did it, send me a note. I came home from Winfield that year, 20 years or so ago, and couldn't remember anything else, so I wrote the rest of the words to it. So the next time you're walking down a road and you see a cow, you have me to thank for all the weird images that pop up in your head. If you go to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. Remember, you can get everything I'm doing here, the papers that I'm going to be referring to as soon as I'm done here. You can go to karabarnard.com and send me a note and I'll send them to you. As soon as I finish this up, fingers crossed I can get a good version for you. I'm going to break this down and we're going to talk about those hammer-on and pull-off techniques and how we can make them stronger and make the timing better on them, okay? All right, here we go. Whiskey Before Breakfast. Start out with a little vamping here. My timing's set. Now the thing about this stand is it makes me want to jump around and dance behind it, but I can't, because if I do that, then my camera starts dancing around too. Very still. Here we go. I woke one morning in the mountain pines, walking down the road, feeling fine. I saw a woman from afar. She was drinking whiskey from a can in a jar, singing, Lord, preserve us and protect us. She's been drinking whiskey for breakfast. 6 a.m. a cow's on the road. She falls down and the jar gets thrown. The cow lets out a great big yawn. The jar goes in and the whiskey's gone. Singing, Lord, preserve us and protect us. The cow's been drinking whiskey for breakfast. Here we go with that instrumental. Keep your fingers crossed. Once again. Part. Woo! Kind of made it through that. A jigger of milk from that old cow make you think the Lord's come down. Blessed her udder, and to tell you the truth, blessed her milk with 100 proof. Saying, Lord, preserve us and protect us. We've been drinking whiskey for breakfast. Let's try that instrumental one more time, then we'll be done. Here we go. Fingers crossed. version right here. This is not the beginner version. Let's see if I can play that smoother one more time. That was fairly so-so. That was all right. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's break this down. Whiskey before breakfast. I wrote those words. You can get those from karabarner.com. Send me a note. Say, Kara, send me everything you got on whiskey before breakfast. The hardest part about this is I'm going to go ahead and jump to the B section because this is where we're going to do all of our hammer-on pull-offs. Now, let me say this really quickly. Before I go into all the multiple hammer-on pull-off things that go on with this, remember always, if you're a beginner and you're just learning these techniques, a hammer-on is exactly that. It is a hammer-on. It's not a set-down. It's a hammer-on. Okay? You ought to be able to make the sound of a hammer-on. See this hand over here? You ought to be able to make the sound of a hammer-on without even picking the string. And that's a good way to practice, or to start practicing your hammer-ons. Okay? You can start up here on 7, 7, 6 hit plus, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then pull off on your 0. Pull it off. All right? So hammer-ons, good attack. All right? Whether you're going from 0 to 2 or 1 to 2, same amount of attack. You got to really hit that fret with those fingers. A hammer, when you hammer a nail, you go pap. You don't go, oh, like that. It's a pop. So really put those fingers down there with some force, all right? Now, the exact opposite. A pull-off is not a lift-off. A pull-off is a pull-off. Here's a lift-off. I'm on 2. I'm lifting off. I'm lifting off. Here's a pull-off. See? A pull-off should feel like you are plucking that string with your finger. Okay? So notice again that this hand is over here. Okay? Now, when you pull off from one number to another, let's say you've got a 2 to 1 pull off. Again, I'm going to keep this hand over here where you can see it. You're going to hit the 2 and then you pull the 2 off. You've got to already have the 1 below him. 2 to 1 pull off. Looks like that. So you hit the 2 and you already have the 1 below him that you're pulling off to. All right? And remember, a pull off is not a lift off. Like I said a second ago, let that be your mantra every time you're working on pull-offs. If you're having trouble with them, a pull-off is not a lift-off. This is a lift-off. This is a pull-off. Okay? All right. So let's look at this second B part that I've got written for you. We hit our middle string, all of them, hammer. Okay? Now you want to make that first hammer with your middle finger because you're immediately going to go 2. You've left it down. Now that's a hammer-on pull-off combination. And actually we're going to pull off to the open too, so it's going to be a hammer-on, pull-off, pull-off. Watch what I mean. So I hit that string 1 time there. I keep bringing my hand up in the air so you can see that I'm not picking it again. And if that's what it takes to get you to not pick that string again, do it that way. Okay? So, the first 2 measures of the B section, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. We are going to pick that middle string. Okay, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, now the next measure, the third measure of that line, is the A chord. 1, rest. No hammer-ons or pull-offs there that we're going to do. You could hammer with your thumb to that 2 off of the A chord if you wanted to, but I think you need to choose your battles myself. All right. Third measure again, also known as the last measure of that B section, first line. A chord, rest. Okay, then we take our thumb on up to 1, 0, 3. Okay. All right. Now here's where it gets really fun. Measures 2 and 3 of the second line. That's where I'm starting. And that's where all the chaos begins. We hit the note. We're going to hit this 2. better for you. Pull that off. Alright, that was crazy. Let's do it slower. Okay. So watch your music if you've got it. If you don't have it, Kara, please send me that music. That was all in one fell swoop. Pick, pick, pull off. Pick, pick, pull off. Let's work it backwards, shall we? Because this is a hard one to teach you guys because there's so much going on. I go pull off, hammer, 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 pull up, pull up, pull up. It's going to be crazy. The very last measure of the B section, we pick the 1, pull off. Now we can hammer back on that 1 and then slide. See that slant to the 2? I want you to slide from the 1 to the 2 and then pull off. And what I've written there is a pull off, pick it again, slide from 1 to 2, and pull it off. If you had the music in front of you, it would make more sense. Okay. All right. Let's play that whole B section again. I'm going to play it as slowly as I possibly can. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now what I would suggest you do when you get this music is you take a different colored pencil. A lot of times I ask my students to print these things off several times and have one copy where you've marked certain things up on and another copy where you've marked something else up. Otherwise you're going to end up with a copy just covered with stuff, and eventually you want to be able to look at a clean copy and play it. But I would take a marker and I would section off little pieces of this for myself. So I might just practice and get that right before I started the next measure. Now that 1, 2, 1 to the open, that's something I would isolate and play over and over again. Now remember, every time I hammer down, I'm hammering with the force of a hammer. It's not a set down. Listen to how weird it would sound if I just set that down. There's nothing there. You gotta pop them down like a hammer. You gotta pull them off like you're plucking the string. So I would isolate that 1, 2, 1, 0. I would set my metronome on a really low speed and make sure that all of those are getting equal time values too. So I don't want you to go. Take them real easy and make them even. Okay? Now you're likely to drive everyone in your household crazy if you live with people. Sometimes I think the only reason I was able to win the national is because I live with cats and a dog. There was no one here to say, Kara, would you please stop practicing? Okay, so you want to take each one of those sections really slowly. All right, let's go back to the less exciting A part. And let me talk to you about the technique I'm using on that. Now, what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing I do when I flat pick my guitar. I used to play this song on my guitar and I would just fly on it. And quite honestly, it's a little frustrating to me that I can't play it that fast on the dulcimer yet. But I'm in here working with my metronome every day, and I'm hoping by the time I get out to some of these festivals I'm going to play for you guys this year that I'll be able to play it a little bit faster. I think the first one is in April. I'm going to be at the Ozark Folk Center to play for you guys during the Dulcimer Jamboree in April. I'll be teaching for 3 days, and you can ask me all kinds of crazy questions about all this weird stuff that I do. Anyway, that first part, it is an away back, constant away back motion that I'm using to play those notes so quickly. Now, not only am I doing that, I'm strumming across all 3 of my strings, but I'm putting more of a downward motion on my bass string so that that bass string that I'm using for my melody is a little bit louder. So let me show you. If I play equally volume-wise across all 3 strings, it would sound like this. Okay, but if I lean into that bass string, it's sort of a downward motion. That's a technique I used when I played Jerusalem Ridge during the National. I had all this real fast stuff, and I was really leaning on that bass string. Okay? I'm still hitting those other strings. They're still getting hit, but they're coming off softer, and that bass string is going bang like that to bring out that melody note that I'm using on the bass string. Now, once again, it's a way back. If we had guitars in our hand, we would call it a down-up motion. And you've got to keep that motion going even when you have a quarter note. Just because you have a quarter note and it doesn't have an eighth note right after it doesn't mean that your hand's going to stay out there. Your hand is still going to reset to make the next away. Let me show you what I mean. Watch my hand. It'll look like I'm doing this. Now that's something that's going to help you with your boom diddy rhythm too. If you use that analogy of you're always using your arm like a pendulum, right? It's always going away and back and it never stops. That will help you with your chord rhythms too. All right, I'm going to play that whole first A section for you. I'm going to play it the way I played it up to speed. Okay? Now the difference is, in the second line, I give you an A chord to fret that A chord. I'm not going to do that because what I found, the faster I played this song, the less time I had to make that full 101 A chord, and it just really didn't matter. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, all the effort I have to put in to fingering something, is it really audibly coming out? Is it worth all that time and effort? Or can I get just as good a sound and keep my flow going better if I do a shortcut? So in that case, I did a shortcut. Let me play it the way I've written it for you first with that full A chord down, and then I'm going to speed it up and show you the difference. Okay? So it's third finger there. There's the A chord. Here's the A chord again. Now, when I play up to speed, I don't fret that whole A chord. Listen to the difference. I don't think you can tell that big of a difference. See what I mean? Keep this arm going back and forth while you're playing this. And the other thing I want you to do, finger it by following your bliss. All right? Finger it any way you want to finger it except one little spot. When you get to the 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 2, the best way to finger that is to put your third finger on that 3 and use your index on the 5. 3, 5, 3. The 3 stays down the whole time. 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 2. So you take those two fingers and you create a tool out of them, dum, ba, dum, and you slide your tool down a fret, da, da, dum. All right, just that simple. All right. Okay, so if you want to get this complete thing with the lyrics and the chords and all of the arrangement and everything that I've done, by all means, go to karabarner.com and send me a message or Facebook me a message, and I will send this out to you. I usually send you guys PDFs if you want them. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Let me play it one more time for you, the whole thing, lyrics and everything, but really slow, so you can try to play along without stressing too much, right? Okay, let's try it one more time from the very top. Now, I suggest that we start with the instrumental. We will do just that. Let me count you off so you can join me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the B part. Rest. part would be played twice. Let's go ahead and do our lyrics. This will give you a chance to work on your boom ditties. Boom diddy, boom diddy, boom diddy, boom diddy. I woke one morning in the mountain pines, walking down the road, feeling fine. I saw a woman from afar. She was drinking whiskey from a cannon jar. 1, 2, 3, singing, Lord, preserve us and protect us. She's been drinking whiskey for breakfast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 6 a.m. a cow's on the road. She falls down and the jar gets thrown. The cow lets out a great big yawn. The jar goes in and the whiskey's gone. 1, 2, 3, singing, Lord, preserve us and protect us. The cow's been drinking whiskey for breakfast. We'll go on to a jigger of milk. Here we go. A jigger of milk from that old cow make you think the Lord's come down. Blessed her udder and to tell you the truth, blessed her milk with 100 proof. Singing, Lord, preserve us and protect us. We've been drinking whiskey for breakfast. All right, 2 additional things you'll see me doing on this video. I think I probably did it because I do it all the time when I'm relaxed and just playing up to speed. I lightly mute right at the top of my fret, the first fret, and I give it that sound. I do that a lot. Another thing that I also do is you will see me actually pull my fingers off of my strings to do a strum. See how that went? Okay, I do a lot of weird stuff and sometimes I forget to tell you about it, and then you guys ask me and I'm like, I don't remember what I did. But that's what I'm doing a little bit of in this video. Alright gang, thanks for hanging out with me. As always, go to karabarner.com. Let me know if you want the hard copy of this. I'll send you the PDF and you can play it along with me and get your hammer-ons and pull-offs nice and tight. Always, I really, really appreciate you. I'll see you again the next time. Thanks again so much for watching the video. Bye-bye.